If you're coming up on retirement or are an empty nester and you're getting ready to start your next phase of life, the upstate of South Carolina is a great place to move to. And specifically, if you're targeting Lake Keowee, this video is going to be for you. In this video, we are going to cover facts about Lake Keowee, what it's like to live on Lake Keowee, what there's to do around Lake Keowee, and we're going to give you the inside scoop on real estate trends on the lake. Let's do it. As always, my friends, my name is Will Sawyer, your friend in real estate here in the upstate of South Carolina. And it's our goal with this channel that we are your #1 resource for all the things that you need to know about your relocation to the upstate of South Carolina. We hope to deliver the most valuable, the most useful, and the most practical information that you can use when making your decision on relocating to our area. And if you like this information, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you follow along in future videos so that you can continue to learn more about our wonderful area. So first up, let's talk about a few things that you need to know about Lake Keowee. So Lake Keowee is located just northwest of downtown Greenville, South Carolina, which is one of the South's best cities, according to Southern Living. Lake Keowee is just under 20,000 acres. There's hundreds of miles of shoreline, and there's a number of things to love about this lake. What you'll find most people talk about, and they just drool over it, is how clean the water is. It has this emerald hue to it. It's been said that the water there is so clean you can practically drink it. Now, the lake was built and is currently controlled by Duke Energy, one of the larger energy companies, if not the largest energy company in the South. It was built around 1970 and was built for the purpose of providing electricity for the local folks here in our area. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video where we mention real estate trends here on Lake Keowee so that you'll be a much more informed consumer. So next, let's talk about what life is like here on Lake Keowee. So as I mentioned before, Lake Keowee is just northwest of Greenville. It's about 50 minutes to an hour from downtown Greenville, depending on where you are. And the way I describe Lake Keowee to many of my clients is, Lake Keowee is like this kind of haven that you'll be stepping into. You're 50 minutes from Greenville. There's a lot of other small towns around Lake Keowee, like Pickens and Seneca and Salem. However, it's gonna feel a little bit remote, and I think that's what residents appreciate about it. On the southern half of the lake, it's gonna feel a little bit less remote compared to that northern half, which is nestled farther up into the mountains. And I really think that's what residents like about Lake Keowee, is that they feel a little bit farther removed from society, but they're only 20 minutes from a Publix grocery store. So in addition to being within an hour to Greenville, if you live on Lake Keowee, you're only about 20 minutes from Clemson and Clemson University if you want to catch a ball game. You're only about 20 minutes from Seneca if you need to go to the grocery store or go out to eat. There's also Pickens, which is 15 to 20 minutes east of Lake Keowee, which is a developing town. Has several great restaurants there, a couple coffee shops that are worth checking out. So that's another destination for you to be going to if you live on Lake Keowee. And I think if you live here on Lake Keowee, you're gonna love the rolling hills around the lake, not to mention the mountain views you get when you're out on the water. So, a typical day on Lake Keowee could be you wake up, go for a walk with your wife and your dog, come back to the house, eat breakfast, and if the grandkids want to go out on the boat in the morning, you can certainly do that. And then if you want to go into Greenville, or if you want to go and catch a ball game at Clemson, you can do that in the afternoon. You can really have fun-filled days here on Lake Keowee because you're not far from a lot of stuff. But if you want to stay home, it's going to feel really peaceful and feel a lot like a retreat. So now let's talk about some real estate trends here on Lake Keowee. So up to this point, as of this recording in 2024, there have been 240 homes that have been brought to the market on or right around the lake. So these are only going to be lakefront homes or interior homes on the lake within the lakefront communities. Of that 240, 103 properties have sold for an average sales price of $1.17 million. Most of the homes that we find on or around the lake are going to be in that 2,500 to 4,500 square foot range. Of course, you'll have smaller, and of course, you'll have larger homes as well. So within this same period in 2023, 223 houses have been brought to market, and only 93 of those had sold up to this point for an average sales price of roughly $1.26 million. So while it is still relatively early in 2024, it seems to me, based on what we're looking at with the data, that prices are beginning to stabilize a bit from the COVID boom. You know, on Lake Keowee, since 2020, we have seen a surge in prices. However, I think that is starting to stabilize a little bit. However, I don't think that has caused the slippage in demand, and that's evidenced by an increase in units sold in 2024 up until this point compared to that same time period in 2023. And that's really no surprise to me at all, because Lake Keowee, in addition to, say, Greenville, South Carolina, is two of the most sought after destinations here in the Southeast, especially in the last 5 years. Now, if you're not necessarily looking to purchase an existing house and you're okay or hoping to build a house, and you're okay with 2 closings, with a 12 to 14 month build time, with dealing with the hassle of construction, then here is some residential lot sales data for you. As of the time of this recording in 2024, 63 residential lots on the water or interior lots on Lake Keowee have sold for an average price of $307,000. Of course, the interior lots are going to be much less expensive than the waterfront lots. Up to this point, last year in 2023, 73 lots have sold for an average price of $400,000. And I think what's leading to such a big discrepancy is the difference between waterfront lots and interior lot sale prices. So the average interior lot on Lake Keowee on a lakefront community is selling for just over $100,000 in 2024, while the average lakefront lot is selling for $578,000. And more interior lots have sold than waterfront lots this year, so that's bringing that average down and making that huge delta that we're seeing from 2024 to 2023. And last but not least, there are all types of communities on Lake Keowee. I mean, you can find your upper echelon, the most exclusive communities here on Lake Keowee, and we've broken those communities down in another video that you can go and watch after this video. But in that video, I break communities down into 3 tiers, tier A, B, and C, with your A communities being the most exclusive communities on the lake, which include the Cliffs, the Reserve, and Keowee Key. And generally speaking, prices in that tier of communities are going to be higher than they are elsewhere. However, that isn't always the case, especially in, say, Keowee Key, where you can reasonably find a lakefront property maybe without a dock for under $1 million, whereas you're not going to find that in the Cliffs or the Reserve, and really not in many of the other communities if a house is on the water with a dock in place. So I hope this video was helpful in helping you make the decision to retire or not to retire to Lake Keowee. And if retiring to Lake Keowee is on your radar in the next 1 to 6 months, do me a favor, send me an email at my email below, or shoot me a text at my cell phone number below. I would love to chat with you about what your retirement or your next phase of life on Lake Keowee could look like. Thanks so much. Well, this video is going to be about Greenville County, the upstate of South Carolina. Great thing to do and easily in the evening. I'm a local real estate expert here in the area. All the time, you know, right behind me is a really cool place called Freight Yard.